Hello, Gold viewers from around the world. I'm Kristen Schwartz, licensed midwife and MC here at Gold Learning. And here at Gold, we are in the middle of the preparations for our upcoming Gold Lactation online conference of 2020. We get started next week with our opening keynote presentation that is open access and free for everyone. So make sure you check out our website a little bit later. And before the conference, what we like to do here at Gold, we like to get together with our speakers here so you can get to know them a little bit. And we're going to talk about their work, what they're up to these days, and also, of course, the presentation. And with me here today is Lucy Ruddle. Welcome, Lucy.
Hi, Kristen. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you doing? It's wonderful to have you here.
I'm really well. Thank you so much. I am so excited about the conference. It's just amazing.
It is. It's going to be wonderful. We have almost, I think, 80 countries represented as delegates. We have over 3,200 delegates. It's going to be such a fun community and lots of great topics as well. So it's gonna be wonderful, and I'm glad you're being part of it.
Oh, all excited.
Great. So Lucy, we're going to talk about your topic in just a moment. So you're an IBCLC, and one of the special, special areas that you are focusing on is relactation. And you have just published a book, right? Published a new book. So tell us a little bit about the book. Show us the book and tell us a little bit about it.
So this is my book baby. As people,
Book
I
baby.
never understood it when authors would say it's my book baby. I was like, why is it a baby? But I get it now. It took like a year to make this thing. So yeah, this is the book. It's called Relactation: A Guide to Rebuilding Your Milk Supply, and it was published in January.
Hmm.
It's aimed at parents, but also it's very readable for professionals as well. And I wrote the book because when I relactated myself for my son, there was just no information out there, or the information that was out there was really hard to find. I spent
Hmm.
many hours kind of, searching through Kelly Mom and Google at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to work out whether the information was appropriate, safe and good. And I just wanted to be able to put everything into one place. And that's what the book aims to do.
Wonderful. So it's going to be a great resource for the parents, our clients there. And yeah, so something we definitely can recommend then for our clients as well.
I hope so. Yeah, absolutely. And good for professionals as well. Like I say, lots of my
Yes,
colleagues have bought copies to loan out and to
to
read
learn it.
through and to
Yeah.
send, photographs of it to people as well.
Great, and it's a great resource for our lending library. That's right. That's
Mm.
wonderful to have. So, relactation. So you're drawing there from your own experience, as you mentioned, right? So tell us a little bit about that. The how
Sure,
you
yeah.
came to this topic and how it became was so personal for you.
Yes, I mean, if I hadn't have relactated for my eldest son, I would not be a lactation consultant today. I
Mm,
wouldn't have then gone on to breastfed my second son, who was the real reason why I wanted to kind of do more training in this field. So when I became a mother, I was not prepared for breastfeeding, as I think many of us in the West are not prepared for breastfeeding.
mhm,
And it was so challenging and so painful and such a shock to me that I actually stopped when Alfie was 2 weeks old. Cried for about a week afterwards, felt really awful, wouldn't remove any milk from my breasts because I felt that I somehow deserved the punishment of being very
mhm,
full and uncomfortable because I'd stopped breastfeeding, I'd failed to breastfeed.
right.
And it took me a couple of weeks before I came across the term relactation and realized that that was what I wanted to do. I needed to give myself a second chance to heal.
Mhm,
And so I went through the process. It took me about 8 weeks and went on to exclusively breastfeed Alfie until he started solids and then breastfed
mhm.
him until he was 18 months old.
Beautiful, wonderful. So yeah, so it is great that you got the chance to relactate because some parents, I assume, don't even know about this, right? That they can
Yeah.
actually do this. So yeah, so it's a lot of education we have to do in that area with our families, right?
Absolutely, and particularly at the moment in the midst of coronavirus, I've
Right.
noticed my own
Yeah.
personal inbox is full of mums
Hmm.
saying, "I've heard there's this thing where you can breastfeed again. Is this true?
Yeah.
And can you help me
Yeah.
do it?" it's become more relevant than ever, and the information out there is still hard for many people to find because they don't know the term relactation. They don't know to search for the term relactation. It
Exactly.
in itself, it's a unique niche thing to be looking
Mhm.
for.
Yeah, exactly. And you brought up a good point. We are in the middle of, the COVID-19 crisis here, the pandemic. You are in the UK, is that correct? So tell us a little bit about the situation there. What is your situation? Are you on full lockdown? And what concerns do you hear from parents that contact you with regards to
Sure.
breastfeeding and relactation?
We're on a mostly full lockdown, a bit of a loose lockdown. I think
Mm-hmm,
our Prime Minister has said that we can leave the house if our work is essential, we can leave the house if we need to buy food, and we can exercise once a day. But apart from
mm-hmm,
that, we should be staying at home. So we're on day
mm-hmm.
3 or 4 of that now. The days all
Okay.
blur into one very
Yeah.
quickly, don't they? And we're all home educating. We've all been thrown into home educating our children, and it's very kind of strange. But there's a very much a good British kind of, blitz
Mhm,
spirit that seems to be coming through, which is great. Mums are really worried though, and a lot of the breastfeeding support has been cut or has been stopped temporarily because we're not allowed to gather in groups anymore. So all
right.
the groups have been stopped. All the peer support sessions have been stopped. A lot of the tongue tie clinics have also been stopped. So mums
Mm-hmm.
are really, really struggling. We've had some problems with people bulk buying infant formula, leading to shortages, which has led to mums not being able to feed their babies or being worried that they might not be able to feed their babies. And that's really pushed up the number of people looking to relactate or increase their milk supply. It's been
Mm-hmm.
quite a strange, busy time for lactation consultants. It really
Mm-hmm.
has.
Yeah, and probably also in number one shortage of formula. And the other point is that there's a lot of good information out there how valuable breast milk is, and especially in this situation, how good it is for babies. So do you get that also? That you get questions, but that maybe moms have who were previously or have already switched to formula, and then seeing information out there and saying like, yeah, I want to give my baby that protection.
Oh, without a doubt. I put a poll up on my Facebook group that I run for Relactation, and I asked mums the main reasons why they wanted to relactate, and
Yeah.
the answer was split 50-50 between mums that wanted to reconnect with their babies and mums that wanted to give their babies the extra nutrition and the antibodies that came from breast
Hmm.
milk. So there's a high percentage of mums that are really motivated by wanting to give their baby the
Right.
best.
Right. Now you mentioned groups are not allowed, peer support groups and such. How are you connecting with your families? Do you use telehealth over there in the UK? Are you doing Skype sessions, Zoom sessions, anything like that?
Most of us are doing Skype and Zoom.
Mhm.
Zoom is very popular. I think it's
Mhm.
quite secure, so a lot of us are using Zoom.
Yeah,
We have lots of online groups as well, lots of
good.
Facebook groups where people can access lots of email support. Lots of
Hmm.
I'm personally doing video calls and telephone calls for families as well. And our National Breastfeeding Helpline has recruited more volunteers and introduced an answer phone service so that mums can get through to them as well. So we're doing as much as we
Good.
possibly can.
Yeah,
It's not the same as face-to-face support, but we're
right.
throwing as much at it as we possibly can
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it makes yes, nothing can really kind of replace the face to face interaction, but on the other side, maybe having an online community like that also opens it up to a broader audience who maybe are living in rural communities, who may not have had the chance otherwise to speak to a lactation consultant because there's none in their area, maybe, or for financial reasons as well.
Yes, it's certainly a more affordable option for many families. We don't charge as much for video support, and
Hmm.
we can do a lot. I've
Yeah,
supported 3 families in the last week with positioning and
wonderful.
attachment via video call, so we can do it. It's
Great.
not a preferred method of contact, but it's certainly much better than nothing.
And there's probably also a learning curve, right? Because when you're so used to doing it in person, and I can see you're a very animated person, and you're very like probably in the face to face is easier for you to communicate, and you're so used to it. Now being in front of a camera, trying to explain exactly about the latch positioning and what to look out for is probably quite a quite a
Yeah,
change, right?
I'm really used to saying to mums, "Can I just show you what I mean?" And kind of
Yeah,
just showing them, and it's really
right.
hard to do that on a video. Like, it's I'm touching my boobs all the time. It's
That's true. That's true. Being creative about it, that's great.
yeah, Yeah.
Uh, so let's talk a little also about your presentation. Of course, it has to do with relactation. The presentation is titled Relactation, a Supportive Approach. So lead us a little through what you're going to be presenting on without, of course, giving too much away, but just give us a little overview of what we can look forward to.
Yes. So I wanted to really make an underlying theme in my talk around the importance of emotional and practical support, because I think lots of us know the technical bits of relactation.
Hmm.
We're going to go over those, but most people have an idea. You know, you need to remove milk, you need to pump, you need to try and get the baby to latch. Most of us will know what a breast supplementer is. But a lot of us may not be experienced in dealing with the emotional and practical support for that length of time, and how we can make things easier for mums or families as they're going through the process. It's a big commitment for the families, and there are lots of things that we should be doing or we could be doing to support them aside from pump 8 times a day.
Wonderful. I'm really looking forward to this. So we will learn, of course, about the skills, but also of how we otherwise can support the families.
Definitely, it's so important. Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. If you would give us a little nugget of wisdom, what you're hoping our delegates would take away from this.
I would hope that the delegates would come away feeling inspired and
Mhm,
feeling empowered. Empowering people is a big thing for me. It changes people's lives if you can feel
mhm,
empowered to support somebody else to be
mhm.
able to relactate. I mean, that would just be, to have all these people going out in the world being confident about relactation would be amazing. That would just make me feel awesome.
Wonderful. And my very last question, which is a little bit, it has to do not directly with lactation, but with the COVID-19 situation. I've noticed in your bio that you have a background in child psychology. And of
Mhm.
course, you have little ones, I think two little ones, right?
Yes, they're 4 and 6.
4 and 6. So, for those of us who are parents and have now our little ones at home too, what tip can you give us? How can we? And this doesn't have to be in detail, just like a little tip you can give us. How can we talk to our children about the virus?
I think we need to keep it very, very simple and try to avoid being too nervous or anxious ourselves about it. So,
Hmm.
being very matter of fact, children often respond to matter of fact, calm. My children understand that there's a nasty cough and it can make elderly people or people who are already poorly really, really sick. So we all have to stay at home to protect them and keep them safe. And we're safe at home. I think for children, they need to know that they're safe and their immediate life isn't going to change, too much.
Hmm.
So we're at home, we're safe, we're having all this lovely time together. We're
Hmm.
getting lots of cuddles, lots of time with mummy, lots of time with daddy. Isn't that lovely? And we're protecting other people. We're keeping everyone else
Mm,
safe by doing this. Aren't we amazing? Keeping it very
beautiful.
positive
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
hard, but really, really important, I think.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. That was a very, very helpful tip. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Kristen.
much, Lucy, for sitting here with me, chatting about, relactation and life, and of course also about your book. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I've enjoyed it.
And the presentation, Relactation, a supportive approach, is part of our Gold Lactation online conference of 2020. The presentation will be live on April 14th. To find out more about this presentation and all the other presentations in the conference, it's going to be a great conference. We have over 30 speakers. We have over 30 hours of accredited hours there for you of learning. And we have some panels, we have workshops, we have Ask the Experts. So we have truly have an interactive experience for you planned. And we get started next Monday here on March 30th. So to find out more about that great event, we would like to invite you to visit goldlactation.com. Thank you everyone for listening and viewing here and participating with us. And I hope to see you all at the conference. Bye bye, everyone.